Each one of you guys is going to introduce your character, their name, what they do in the court. Basically, so because the thing is, all of you guys know each other. You're all part of the same court. Kane, you introduce your character.
I am Testicles, a court-sanctioned assassin. I'm a frog man. Half frog, half man.
He's a frog kid. He's a member of a race of tiny 2-foot-tall frogmen, and he's an assassin. Vash.
I am Jasper von Dick. I am the court manager. I am the court bard. I love strumming my lute and spending time with my panda cub friend Puma. And I very much love men. I have dashingly blonde hair, an amazing six-pack, and a big, pulsatingly large biceps.
Now we're going to go on to Arch. What is your character?
My character is Saira Cavenport. Saira Cavenport is the court advisor, and she also runs most of the hospitals here in the city. As a side note, she is also a huge asshole, and her entire goal is to maintain the royal authority in this city, no matter what. She's a female human, a death-bound cleric, and she has all kinds of fun bits and bobs that she uses to make undead people, especially ones that our dear assassins drag back.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go down to Velnos. Who is your character, and what does he do?
My character is Drelark Marinci. He is the captain of the guard alongside being the personal bodyguard of the queen. He also trains most of the courts in fencing, so they can do their duels with utmost proficiency.
Okay, so Rocka, are you there? Because if you don't know, then you are muted.
I am here.
Okay, so you can explain your character because Cham said he wanted to go last.
I am Uhtred Cicero Jerome. I am a paladin, Kensei. I am also the religious advisor to the king. I cast this holy symbol against the sun, and I tell him what God wants. My word is law.
Bam. All right, Cham, you're up.
I am Curtis Swiftfoot. I am the royal assassin. I like to kill people with my pokey pokes, and I like long walks on the beach.
God, you're a fucking murder hobo. Cham is playing a rogue assassin. Kane is playing a ranger assassin. Hoden is playing a paladin Kensai. Vash is playing a bard bear lord. Arch is playing a cleric bone knight, and Velnos is playing a fighter Justicar. Now that that is out of the way, we can get through with the setting. So basically, the idea at this point is that you guys are in this court, but there has been problems lately, and the main problem is that the kingdom is moving closer and closer to war. King Joshua is very, very fearful that the empire, or that the kingdom, is going to get drawn into war with an order of Dragonborn that have taken over the Fire Sand Wastes. They're known as the Black Scale Order, and basically, they plan to conquer the Kingdom of Nexus as their last conquest of the of the south, because they've already taken over the mainland pretty much. But the problem is that to the north, the Kingdom of Calgar, which is the largest kingdom on the continent, basically what happened there is that they're kind of separated from it to an extent, because in a previous incident, let's put it that way, the Elven Forests were decimated because somebody in a flying ship with a deck gun decided to blow up their magical tree that gave the forest life, and then proceeded to turn it into basically a massive burned out demilitarized zone.
I have no regrets. Fuck you.
So basically, the country of Calgar is kind of turning a blind eye to the south. They don't really care. So you guys, the Nexus is pretty much on its own. And the problem is that the Nexus is a series of islands, kind of like the Philippines. So you guys have a really strong navy, but not a really strong army. So you're kind of, if the navy goes down, you're kind of susceptible to something. So this is basically on a day when it's kind of a normal day in the court. Everybody, you guys are all there. The king and the king is on the throne. He's listening to his basically his financial advisor, the kingdom's treasurer, on where they should be investing money for this. And he's also asking for some of you guys if you have any suggestions on where to put money in order to help with the defenses should you need them.
I think we should put more money into our defense budget, especially in the training of troops currently. We very little amount of troops at the moment.
This time, training apes how to slaughter. We need to give money to the church and invest in God. God will lead us to victory.
I don't think indulging in your religion would be effective on training more troops. What
I
we
agree.
should invest in is better training, better trainers, better equipment, and proper recruitment.
The king will side with the master at arms, the assassin, and the bard. So he agrees that he should probably put more gold towards the training of troops, and he sends out his scribe. At the same time, his daughter Veronica walks into the room. She comes up to him, gives him a hug, and looks over to her favorite sword teacher and cutely gazes at him, asking if he would please teach her how to give her another fencing lesson. So her favorite fencing teacher is Velnos.
Alright then, let's start today's lesson.
Yay!
All right, since she's playing the NPC, you guys can play this out for a little bit, and then while that's happening, you other guys can think about what you're going to do. So I'm going to let this scene play out.
Remember to grab forward with the dominant hand and backwards with your other hand.
You mean like this?
Yes, exactly like that. Now hold it up, point facing me.
Okay.
So as you're teaching this, Purity, you're going to have to roll for the princess to see if she is retaining any of this knowledge. So that would be an intelligence roll. So roll a d20 in the dice spot. All right, that's a 10. And you have a decently high intelligence, so you probably get like a +2 to that. So that's a 12. So you're retaining most of it. You're getting the gist of what he's saying.
This isn't so hard.
Now, I want you to try and pass the blade under mine.
So you guys are busy doing your little sword lesson. At the same time that's happening, Rocka, I don't know what you plan on doing, but I figured I'm going to go to Rocka and Vash and Arch and see what do you guys want to do right now, because I'm going to lump kind of Kane and Cham's actions together because they're kind of hanging out being bros. All right, so what are you three doing with your time currently?
I just want to play and stand around and play with my Kuma.
Okay, you can go over and play with the panda. That's just going to happen in the corner. You don't need to roll for that. Rocka, I guess you're just going to stand there and berate him for playing with a panda?
No, I'm going to go to the church and collect donations.
All right, so you leave the room, so you're on your way there. Arch, what are you doing?
I'm going to follow through with these funds that have been dispatched to start training soldiers and see about establishing an actual training ground for these people.
Okay, so what you're going to have to do is the treasurer is nearby. He just kind of walked away from the king writing and stuff, so you're going to have to grab him, and he'll go with you to the treasury to withdraw the funds and make sure everything's all set, and then you guys can start training troops.
Sounds fine by me.
So you walk up to him. Oh, hello there. What do you want?
Well, as you may have heard, the king has asked for the funds to be dispatched for a new troop regiment that we're going to be training. I wanted to make sure that it went through properly and that we are going to have a place for them to actually train, especially have a few of my personal healers on hand to make sure the training goes faster.
That's a good idea, sir. All right, well, let's go down to the gold vault and we'll withdraw some funds, make sure that we get that going, and then we'll just have to do another draft and see if we get any young men or women or anybody that can hold a sword, really.
We do seem to have quite a bit of frogs in the kingdom, so I don't think we're very exclusive.
I mean, to be fair, it's a very wet place and they are very far from home. Okay, so he's going to go with you, so you guys leave. Rocky, you're going to the church.
I'm just going to drag freaking Kane with me to go with the paladin.
You're gonna go to the church? Okay.
We're going to the church, but we're not going to church.
Well, no, I know you're not going to church. You're a fucking frog man. All right, so
and our god is Kermit.
You guys are now off doing your own thing. So I am going to roll a d20, and we're going to see where this is going to go. All right, 6, so it is not going to go very good. So Rocka, Cham, and Kane. So this scene is going to involve all of you guys, because you guys are going in that direction. And Arch, you might be aware of it if you hear certain things. So you and Kane and Rocka are all going to the chapel. And as you're walking down to the chapel from the palace, keep in mind that the way the island kind of sets up is there's kind of a little bit of a tree ring that's around the forest, it's around the main city. It's a fairly large island, but there is right after you get past the trees, then you actually hit the beach and the landing area, and it's relatively flat, except for where the castle is. It's been built up, so the castle is kind of up higher, just for tactical reasons. So as you guys are going down to the chapel, you start seeing what looks like smoke coming from the woodland area, as well as explosions.
I'm gonna jump onto the roofs and start.
Okay, so you're gonna jump onto the roof to, I assume, whatever the nearest building is, or you're pretty much at the chapel. Do you want to jump up on the chapel because it's probably the tallest thing?
Sure.
Okay, so you're gonna make a jump roll.
Oh, plus 19 to that. Put 19 to that as well.
Okay, you definitely you leap right up to the top of that, and you do a little frog assassin parkour move up there, and you're basically standing like on top of the steeple, like Altair style. You can roll perception to see what you see. Kane and Rocka, you can also do stuff. Oh, we have our first nat 20 of the evening on the second roll. Cham, I'm just going to tell you what you see, and then you can decide whether to relay that information to Kane and Rocka. As you look out, you squint your eyes and put your hand over them so that you can kind of get the sun out. And as you look, you see that there appears to be an armada of black ships that are on that side of the island. And when I say armada, I mean hundreds of ships.
I'm gonna pull out my signal whistle. And I'm gonna start fucking blaring that shit to them.
Okay, that's gonna be okay. So because you're trying to blow into it with all of your might, you're going to need to do a Constitution roll. All right, so you rolled a 9. So you kind of it's loud enough where the people in the general area can hear it, but not really loud enough so that a lot of people can hear it. But they do know what that sound is, and they immediately begin running to their homes and yelling and screaming at other people that there is something coming. They just don't know what.
I'm gonna jump up to where he's at, but I'm gonna jump up as badly as possible.
Yeah, so 25. So you're up there.
Hey man, what do you see?
Yo, diggity dog, home skillet. Over there, I see a bunch of fucking armada shit. There's a bunch of fucking ships, man, and they're not ours. You dig? Does Rocket hear that?
I did, and I said, I told you Jesus was gonna send his almighty army to come wipe out the sinners. I told you to give money to the church, and y'all did not listen.
All right, so you guys have now spotted this. Arch, you're on the other side of the island, going to the treasury, but you do hear explosions. If you want to make an intelligence roll to see if you can discern what it is, you can. But there are sometimes naval exercises where they fire cannons, but you don't necessarily know if that's what it is. Okay.
Pretty sure I'm just pretty okay with whatever's going on.
No, okay, that would be a 7. So you just think it's exercises. You don't really think of anything of it, and you continue on. So we're just going to go back to Cham and Kane and Rocka and see what they're going to do now that they have this information.
I'm running towards the explosions.
Okay, so you're going to go towards the explosion. Kane and Rocka, are you going to follow him?
Let's totally go near them big poopy clowns.
Good shepherd always looks after his flock.
I'm still on the roofs. I'm just giving that heads up.
You're going across the roof, so you're going to have to make, even though it's kind of pointless, you're going to have to make a jump roll that for the action of going over all the roofs. I'm not going to make you make a jump roll for every single one. Okay, yeah, you do it. So, Kane, are you going to follow him on the rooftops, or are you going to go on the street with Rocka?
On the street, brah.
All right, so you jump down, and you're going to run with Rocka, so you guys are just going to keep moving. Cham, you rolled high, so you can go across the rooftops. So it takes you probably about 10-15 minutes to make the actual trip to actually get to the forest. And as you get to the forest, you start seeing, you hear more explosions, and you start seeing more fire coming from near the beach, but it's coming from on the water, and you're not 100% sure what you're seeing because there's a lot of trees in the way so far. You're going to have to get closer in order to do it, or you're going to have to climb up in the trees so you can see over the canopy.
Fuck it. You know what I'm going to do.
All right, roll. All right, so, because if you actually did roll a nat 1, even if it's a plus 19, I still had to make you fail somehow. All right, so you managed to get up into the trees, and you get up to the top, and as you look, you see that they are Nexus ships that are lit ablaze, and some of them appear to be sinking. A lot of the sailors appear to be diving off of them and into the water, attempting to swim for the shoreline. And you also notice that there's a large grouping of ships, smaller ships like, dinghies and large ships that can take like 10, 15 soldiers, and they're all rowing towards the beach. You also notice that the flags on the ships at this point, because you're closer, are that of the the Order of the Black Scale.
I'd like to do a perception, see if there's like a ship with a to be like a general or some sort.
You want like a capital ship if there's like a central ship to the flotilla. Yeah. Okay, roll perception. Plus 10.
Yeah, I already
Okay.
put the plus 10, so it's
Okay.
22.
Okay, so when you look out, you see that there is one very large ship that is in the middle of the flotilla. It's surrounded by a lot of smaller warships, and you can barely see it. It's very. There's a lot of fog and stuff out on the sea, which probably makes sense for why they chose today to come into shore. As you're looking, you can kind of see the silhouette of a very large ship, and you can see the mast sticking up from the top of the fog. It's a massive ship.
I'm gonna jump in the water and start swimming towards it.
So you're going to swim under the water?
Yes.
Kane, are you also going to follow him? Do you also have the amphibious ability?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Rocka, are you going to do anything?
Actually, fuck that. I'm not gonna just stand there. I have a griffin. I'm gonna fly over there. I get one because I'm a paladin. I get a special mount.
Rocka, you're going to fly towards this thing with the griffin. Keep in mind, none of you have chosen to actually report this back to the king. You've simply allowed a bunch of stupid villagers to do it. So most of them don't give a shit. They're going into their houses and barricading themselves inside so they don't get burned, so they don't get brutally murdered and possibly other things happen to them. So the people in the castle still have no idea about this. Cham and Kane, you are going to reach the water well before this flotilla of boats comes in. So you guys are able to swim under the boats. You're going to both have to roll stealth rolls to make sure that they don't spot you, because it is pretty clear water. It's like Caribbean. So that's your stealth roll, so 17. All right, Kane, you're also going to have to make one, and it's your hide skill.
I'm also going to make a swim roll.
Okay, so Kane, and you're also going to have to make a swim roll, Kane.
Okay.
That's a nat
Natty 1.
Okay, so
That's
Kane.
a swim roll.
Yeah, that's your swim roll. So you're kind of just like flailing along, but it doesn't really matter because you're amphibious. You can't actually drown. Cham, your rolls were okay, so I'm going to roll for the people, not the people, but the Dragonborn that are on board the ships. So they rolled a 9 for their sturch. So they don't really notice either of you because both of you rolled higher than a 9. So the only thing is that Kane, it's going to take you a little longer to get there, but it does. You guys eventually do get underneath the large ship. Now, Rocka, everybody's also going to roll to notice the griffin that is flying through the sky, at least from the bigger ships, because the little ones notice you and they're pointing. Okay, they definitely notice you on the bigger ships, so they're going to be launching a bombardment of cannon fire with grape shot. So you are going to have to roll a ride skill to make that griffin miss all those fucking cannonballs.
Well. It just so happens I invested a lot of points into ride.
All right, well, they're going to roll 1d20, but because there's so many ships, they're going to get a plus 10.
Well, fuck.
All right, so these are all light cannons. They're not heavy cannons, except for the main boat. The big boat has heavy cannons, but the smaller ones not. Now, they are using grape shot, which I think would really more or less count as chain shot. So basically what's going to happen is they take a -3 penalty to the attack roll, but since they rolled high enough, it doesn't really matter. They're going to hit. So that is going to deal 4d8 damage to you, and that is per hit shot. So they didn't hit too many shots with you, but they hit enough. So you're probably going to take 8d8 damage. I'm not sure what the griffin's health is. Okay, so it has 59 health. It just took 42 damage. So that thing is falling out of the sky now because, again, it was grape shot. So a lot of that is going to also hit the wing. So he's taking a nosedive right now through the water. You're going to need to roll a ride save to pull him up. Okay.
What up with this bot? I hate this fucking
Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick counter roll with the griffin to see if the griffin can will himself to being. The griffin does not will himself to being. So you're going straight down into the water. And also you were a fair amount in the sky. Like you were a decent amount. So you're going to take so you and the griffin are both going to take damage upon hitting the water. So
hold on.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and lay on hands for healing.
Okay, so roll your healing roll. Then you have enough time to use that before you hit the water. So 32 health is what he would regain?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means he's going to be still not be full health. He's still going to be minus 10 HP, but he's going to be healed enough where his wings might be able to fly again. But the problem is he's about to hit the water. And again, you were a fair amount up. So what I'm going to do is calculate the fall damage. You have 55 health. You took 39 damage, so that means you only have 16 health remaining. And your Griffin also took 39 damage.
So he's got 10 life left.
All right, so you guys are both underwater at this point, and also all of the ships, the little troop ships that were around you, now realize exactly where you went in the water. So there's a bunch of them just kind of circling around with spears and poking them down into the water trying to find you, because now it's all foamy and stuff from all the ships being around. So they can't really see you that well, but there's a bunch of spears that are poking down into the water. So if you go anywhere near the surface, you're probably going to get stabbed. What are you rolling for?
Oh crap! I forgot I also put search. So that's a 23. Do I see him?
You see both of them at this point because you saw them crash into the water because it was a fairly large implosion. So you and Kane are both aware of at least the implosion, not necessarily what happened, but you know something happened over in that area. If you're rolling a search check, you'll be able to know that it was Rocka and the Griffin. Kane, you're going to have to roll search to actually identify what it is. So what are you rolling?
I got a 13.
13. Do you get any additions to your search, or did you just roll a 13?
No, that was with the additions.
Okay. So you know that there's something happened over there, and you see that Cham is swimming towards it, so you understand that there's something important going on. Cham, you rolled a 27 for a swim check, I believe?
Yeah, I'm swimming. I can't get Griffin, so I'll grab a fucking Rocka.
You swim over, and you're going to have to do a strength roll to grab him and swim with him. So you're going to do a swim roll, but it's going to be a disadvantage.
So that's a 20. That's 22.
Okay. So Rocka, are you going to do this willingly? Are you going to grab onto him and swim away with him so he can get you out of there?
Yeah, and I'm gonna grab my Griffin by the foot.
Okay.
Drag him with him.
Cham, you're going to take a negative 10 to that because you're also dragging a Griffin with you. Which is still a 16, so you're able to drag them out of there. But Rocka, you and the Griffin are both going to have to roll Constitution saves because you're holding your breath this entire time. All right, so you're fine, and the Griffin.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so you guys are both fine. So you're both able to hold your breath long enough for Cham to swim you over underneath the large ship. But you guys need to now immediately go up for air because you've been underwater for like well over a minute and a half.
Oh, all right. So we're underneath the big ship.
You're underneath it, so you can come up like right next to it and get some air, and you might be okay. Most of the little dinghy ships are all going towards the shoreline by now.
All right, so I'm right behind. I'm dragging him. I'm right behind the big ship. I'm going to toss my grapple hook onto the back. I'm going to tie it to the Griffin, so he'll be able to just float, like be dragged, and so fucking Rocket could climb up as well.
Okay, yeah. If you're going to pull yourself up out of the water with the rope, that's something else. Okay, so you're going to do that, but I'm going to put a hard pause on what you guys are doing right now so we can get back to the rest of the crew, because they need to be involved now. So Arch, you keep hearing explosions. You're starting to become very concerned with why you're hearing so many explosions.
Just off getting a coffee, enjoying my day, and I keep hearing all these damn explosions. Is this some kind of Independence Day here?
So you can roll again to your intelligence to see if you can discern what it is, because you now don't think that it's been long enough where you don't think it's some kind of a training exercise. Okay. Nope. You are just kind of just indulged in what you're doing.
It's a really good coffee.
So as you're drinking your coffee and reading the cost and effect sheet for how to get your soldiers in, a townsperson runs up to you and immediately grabs you and says, "They are attacking us! Please, God, we need help!"
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slap him a couple times for touching me.
Dexterity.
Well, that one's certainly connected.
You smack the man across the face and you grab him by the shoulders and immediately start shaking him.
What in God's name are you talking about?
Back order, sir. They're here. They're bombing the beaches. They're rolling in. We need to tell the king, sir.
I've been called sir by everyone in this damn kingdom. I don't think you know what women look like.
That's a fair thing. But please, God, they're going to kill us.
All right, I'll go handle this. I tell you what. You stay here, guard my coffee. If I come back here and it's not on this table, I will skin you alive. So, ta-ta. and I'm gonna head for the kingdom.
Are you going to roll an intimidation roll for that?
Please do it.
Absolutely.
Roll the roll. All right, that's 27. Yeah, no, he immediately looks at the coffee and sits down next to it, guarding it with what appears to be his life as he begins to sweat profusely.
You're damn right. And now I'm gonna head to warn the king because apparently this idiot didn't go to him instead of me.
You were just the closest person.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head on out.
Okay, so you're gonna go back to the palace. So as you get in, you see that Vash is still there playing with his panda bear, and Velnos is still conducting his fencing lesson, while the king appears to be dining down on a leg of some kind of bovine.
All right, you, gay one, and you, sword fencer. There seems to be some trouble down at the beach, and we need you there post haste. Time now.
It's Jasper, sir.
No one cares. Get your fruity ass down there.
Arch has informed you both about this, so Velnos, are you now going to stop your fencing lesson?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so the king is now shocked at this. He's like, "Oh my god, we thought we were months away from this."
Well, apparently it's right now, so we should get along. Pip pip.
I agree, sir.
Please establish a perimeter around the castle. That's where they were probably going to strike first.
Sir.
To protect you and your daughter, you should assemble the guard, form a perimeter, keep everyone secure, and seal the gates right now.
The king nods in agreement with you and orders Arch and Vash to go off and get that stuff done. As he turns to you, he brings you over to the side, Velnos, and says, "There is a ship, a secret passage back of this building. If this goes south, you need to go through that passage down to that ship and leave here under cover of darkness. We might be able to hold them off until then. That way you can have a way to escape."
We should proceed immediately.
He nods to you and leads you into the back, where he shows you a painting of the former queen in her heyday. He then proceeds to move the painting and press on one of the stone blocks that's in the center of the wall. The stone block inserts about 2 inches, and then the wall slides to the side as it appears that there is a staircase, spiral staircase, leading downward. He ushers you through the door and says that wait until nightfall and sail away.
I nod at him and keep my rapier at hand.
He nods. So as this is happening with Velnos, Arch, and Vash, you guys have now formed the castle guard up in the main courtyard, and they are basically ready to defend the castle. The head archer, a half-elf named Lorna, is up on top of the castle wall with her array of ranger archers, and they are ready to defend from at range, while the remainder of the guard is standing inside the gate, ready to kill anybody that makes their way through.
Looking good, looking good. If anybody looks not like us, please shoot them dead. We're heading down to the beach to unfuck this situation.
Oh, but they're not as good as looking as you, Saira.
Good lord, I hate you. Could you just move? Is that the only walk you have, this saunter?
Yes, I'm fabulous, bitch. Don't be hating.
And I'm going to just move on, heading towards the explosions.
Okay, so you're going to head out. Vash, are you going to go with him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to head down to the beach. So while you guys are traveling and Velnos is going down the spiral staircase with the princess, Cham,